Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It is October 26th. I always have to check. I don't even know what day it is half the time. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. This is Coffee Talk. If you've never joined one of these before, we kind of talk about whatever, although there's so much crazy stuff that had happened last week that there's almost like enough stuff for like its own show. So a lot of times this is just random stuff, but there's a lot more to talk about this week because so much stuff happened over last week that we couldn't even fit it all in to the One Up Weekly. So we can kind of dive right in. But yes, Vic Vicious, I did wipe. No, I didn't have to go to the bathroom. Believe it or not, I actually was. I was doing some video editing for this show, and this show I kind of like wake up and I kind of just start going. So, anyways, all right, How to Bachelor, $2 super chat right out of the gate. He said, "Plugged your show on my morning walk, 2 million views. That's crazy. I thank you so much for that. I can imagine this show is gonna blow up this morning." Garage Gamer, how you doing, buddy? He said, "Morning, Ralph. My wife still hates me this morning. That's because the Seattle Seahawks lost last night to the Arizona Cardinals, and his wife is a big Seahawks fan. So, anyways, we were pretty excited here because we like the Cardinals because we're here in Arizona. But anyways, all right, we're gonna jump right in. I have coffee this morning. I got iced coffee. There's a lot of stuff. Console Kits, my man, my sidekick, my buddy, my pal, my host of the One Up Weekly. I want drama. Get it off the chest so we can move on. Actually, it's not really drama. There's just a lot of real good information. What the heck happened, guys? Did I go live and then go offline? Am I back? All right, tell me if I'm back, because I had a whole talk track going there. You guys, let me know if I'm back, and I'll start from the top. Sorry about that. I'm going to go back to the front. Let's see if we're back. Are we back? If we're back, then let's go. My stream got shut down for some reason. That's weird. All right, let's start from the top. Okay. All right, we're back. It sounds good. You guys, let me know if anything happens. I don't know why that happened. So I'm going to, did you guys miss all of that? Do I have to start straight from the top? All right, I'm starting straight from the top. We missed everything. Okay, we're going back from the top. Now you got How to Bachelor in here. He's like, "Oh, well, 10-4, good buddy. Let me know what your frame rate is." Dude, I got this under control. We got this. All right, I don't know what happened. It just dropped. I have no idea. Okay, let's go back. So this weekend, last week, a bunch of crazy stuff happened. And I tried to join the At Games Facebook group. And when I went to join this group, I'm like, all right, I was denied. It just kicked back. Like if you try to join a group sometimes and then it says rejoin basically the join group button popped back up. Like I didn't already have the request in. So I'm like, that's weird. Did I get denied denied access? I'm like, that's kind of odd. So then I go over to the group. Of course, I'm going to go see, well, who moderates the group, because that'll be a good indication of maybe there's someone that's not a big fan of the show or whatever. So, there's Glenn, who Glenn is Glenn's Retro Show. I don't think he would deny me because I am friends with Glenn. So I kind of immediately, process of elimination, I'm like, it wasn't Glenn. I don't know who this Matt Scott guy is. So I was like, all right, it's probably not Matt Scott. I don't even know who Matt Scott is. So I'm guessing if I don't know who he is, then I'm probably safe. That's probably a safe bet there. But then it kind of got interesting because I'm like, oh, Jason Tierney. Well, Jason Tierney goes under the name of Play Games on YouTube. He pretends to not work for At Games, but he really does. I don't know why. Is he embarrassed to work for At Games? I'm not sure. But he any At Games video, you'll see Play Games comment and he'll be like, "Yeah, this is awesome." So he acts like he's a super fanboy, but never discloses that he works for At Games. So that's kind of weird, right? Then as you go down further, and I don't know Jason. I'm sure he's a good guy, whatever. But why he pretends to not work there, I'm not really sure. I don't have any run-ins with Jason, so I'm like, well, why would Jason deny me, right? That's weird. So it wasn't Jason, I don't think. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure I confirmed that it wasn't Jason. And then, then there's Bill. So Bill, another guy who works for At Games. Now, At Games is weird because when you work for At Games, you don't really work for At Games. You're kind of like a contractor for At Games. No one really, I feel like, effectively works for At Games except for the executive staff. So it seems like unless you're in the, the E staff or the executive staff, it seems like you don't actually work directly for At Games. So then you got Bill here. So Bill works there. I'm sure Bill's a good guy too. But I had just this feeling that it was Bill that denied me. So I did reach out to Bill, and he did actually tell me, is my stream down again? No. So he did actually tell me that he denied he denied me access to the group. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, at least he was honest and upfront about denying me." So he did deny me to the group. I did try to join twice. I tried to join as myself, and then I tried to join as Retro Ralph. They were both denied. So I was kind of thinking to myself, like, what is it? Why would they hate me that much, or dislike me that much? Because if you look at the Arcade One Up groups, there's a bunch of mixes of people in there. Some people that are not very favorable to these groups, right? Like some people will go in and they'll blow stuff up. I mean, if you think about it, how cool is it? Zohar will say some crazy stuff about Arcade One Up in Arcade One Up's group, and they let him in there. Now the funny thing is, John D's a member, so they let John D of Arcade One Up in the group and not me. So as I got to thinking, I was like, wow, what have I done in the past? And the only thing I could think of that maybe was a reason why they didn't want me to join is this is the only clip that I could think of where I was really, really harsh on at games. And I'm gonna also defend that I wasn't out of line, but I was having fun with it. Like sometimes what I do is comedy-ish, like I try to have fun. And I'm not, but anyway, so this was the clip that I think that's maybe the reason why they dislike me a little bit.
Oh, hey guys. I'm working on this new at-game software just came out, 308, maybe you heard of it. You can do free local streaming, but not only that, you can do 4 players, so I got all these controllers, they're gonna be all wired up, it's gonna be awesome. But then, what's even cooler is the local streaming has this app, and I install it on my laptop, and I should be good to go, so just hold on a second, I'm almost done. Wait, what? What the hell?
Oh no. What happened? Gosh, games! I should have listened to Mad Little Pixel. Son of a bitch.
So I don't know how many of you guys saw that clip before, but okay, so I'll give you the quick version. They had some software where you could do local streaming to their arcade cabinet. It was like really early. It was early stages because then I was part of, at that point in time, I used to talk to Bill. I used to talk to a bunch of people internally that worked there. They're actual developers. And I was getting like hooked up. It was crazy. It was like I was the king over there. It was like, I'm joking, but they would give me anything. I would ask for it and they'd give me whatever, access to anything I wanted. So it was kind of cool. Because I was like, holy crap. At the time, I was like, wow, I've worked a lot with Arcade One Up, and they wouldn't even come close to doing this stuff. So I felt really good. Like, it felt good. I was like, man, they're propping me up here. They're, like, promoting my videos. I was, like, really into it. And then this thing happened, but that wasn't really they ended up ultimately, at the end of the day, correcting it. So, all right, did they expect you to lie and lose credibility? How to Bachelor? I don't know. But long story short is, that's sort of when the relationship got rocky. And it was cool because they were definitely treating me like really great. But also it kind of started getting into this mind. At the time, what happened was they wanted you to do certain videos. So it was like they kind of were encouraging me to do videos on this or that. Stringer's Film says, I hope it wasn't the review recap video I made. I don't know, maybe. So thank you for the super chat, buddy. You and How to Bachelor. So there was this theme of like, I kind of was starting to feel a little bit of pressure with them. Like they were like, oh, maybe do this video, maybe do that video. And it was like, if you look at my channel around that time and some of the videos I took down, it was like a string of At Games Legends Ultimate videos. And then really the product at the time, the ALU, wasn't ready. So it definitely wasn't ready to be out, to be sold. So like in the early days, it was like firmware update. It was all the time. So I was like, here's a firmware update video. Here's a firmware update video. And I saw this pattern, and one of the reasons why I ultimately said goodbye was that I felt this immense pressure, like they were trying to not control the narrative, but maybe a little bit. And I was like, I'm kind of out. Because believe it or not, Arcade One Up absolutely has nothing. They don't say anything about any video I do, anything, even when I'm negative. Like I wasn't very favorable on that little, that little device, even though it was kind of fun to play with. Their little HDMI device, they don't ever say anything. John D's like, you got to be honest, man. I appreciate that, whatever. Like they're always been like that. So they've never done anything like that. So what I saw at the time is it looked like what they were trying to do was they were trying to get buddied up with as many YouTubers as they can. Because think about it, it's cheap marketing for them. It's super easy. All they got to do is be like, hey, we don't even really have to pay people to market the product. We'll let all these people do it for us. And actually, it's quite effective. if you look, they've got a ton of YouTube people, right, that do content kind of under their wing now to support them. And, they'll say lighthearted jabs at them every now and then to kind of like make it seem, like it's honesty, right? But they mask a lot of stuff too. So anyways, it was just weird. I was kind of frustrated because I'm like, I don't really think they should deny me access. I'm not trying to hurt the company, but then then I kind of joked around about it on Twitter, and I'm like, yeah, I tried to join the official group on Facebook. It was denied. And believe it or not, this Twitter message had some serious legs because it had most of my tweets. If I tweet something
guys.
out,
Working
sorry
on this
guys.
new at-game software.
When I tweet something out, I don't usually get that kind of reaction, like 2,500 views. That's actually, or impressions. That's actually really good on Twitter. And so anyways, a lot of people engaged in it. And then and then I was like kind of trying to like maybe have a little bit more fun with it because the group had about at the time 870 members in it, the pinball group. And then I said this tweet officially has more impressions than the At Games pinball group has members. So maybe I was being a little bitter and having a little fun with it. So I didn't see your retweet. How to Bachelor. I'll have to check that out. But anyway, so that leads me to because we're talking about At Games. So Garage Gamer says At Games YouTubers the real shills. I'm not calling anybody a shill or anything like that, but I'll just tell you that I don't feel that a lot of times the whole picture's being like the whole thing is being talked about. And it's funny because the same people that will do those videos will do all these videos where they're saying all the dirty stuff about Arcade 1UP, yet they'll just be super like friendly to At Games and not talk about some of the things like with the gamer on ArcadeNet and the buttons being mapped weird and you can't remap them, but you can map them in other places. It's like, well, that's a pretty big deal, but they don't talk about that stuff. It's like, it's kind of bullshit. Like in a way, it's like, well, you'll say bad things about one, but you won't the other. I say bad things about both. Arcade 1UP isn't like this. They're so far from a perfect company, but I also have this thing where, dude, gauge these for what they are. They're not $4,000 arcade machines. Yeah, they're gonna have problems. They have problems. Some of them maybe we shouldn't tolerate, and some of the problems I'm like, yeah, it's a $300 machine or it's a $500 machine or a $400 machine, whatever it is. And yeah, the sticks and buttons aren't the same quality as on all my real arcades downstairs, but it's not a $4,000. It wasn't manufactured $4,000 machine. It's like I always went into Arcade 1UP expecting that I was buying it more for the cabinet because I was doing modding. So I never really thought of it that way. But then they started actually improving, so they started making things better. But they've had hiccups along the way, and Justin and I talked about that last night. The whole thing where anything that Code Mystics does is great, and the cabinets that some of the other companies do, maybe their QA isn't as good as Code Mystics, so they're not as good. So yeah, but I've always been honest. You could go back and look at my Arcade 1UP videos. They probably didn't really like me in the beginning. I was saying messed up stuff, but I've always been that way. It's just funny. Like recently, all of a sudden, it's like I get these people saying I'm not critical enough. I was ultra critical in the beginning. Maybe I've loosened up, and that's my bad. But anyway, so it's just kind of weird. I just feel like if there's any, and this isn't anything against them, but they're so embedded with At Games that it's hard for me to take their stuff seriously because it's so in bed with them. But anyways, okay, hold on. I'm getting Stringer Films is lighting me up on something. I don't know what it is. Is this something new, Stringer? Oh, so Stringer Films made a video I forgot about. I wasn't going to go here, but maybe this is another reason why they're not big fans either. I'll play it if you guys want. Do you guys want me to play the Stringer video? Let me know if you do, and I'll put it up on the screen here really quick. I'm downloading it, so give me a second, and then I'll bring it. Yes, you guys want me to play it? All right, let me see. I got to get to the meat of this. There's more stuff I want to talk about because I want to get to the pinball and some other stuff too. You guys want to see it? All right, we'll see it. Let me see. I'm gonna move it in here. Whenever I put in whatever, I don't need to tell you guys that. You guys need to know my background crap. All right, At Games clip 2. Right. Give me 1 second, my friends. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me this morning for sure. We are gonna get this going really quick.
We've got a super action-packed episode.
Hold on. Oh crap.
Whole Labor Day getting to know the Legends Gamer.
And
I thought this thing
All right, here's the stringer clip. We've got a super action-packed episode. I spent my whole Labor Day getting to know the Legends gamer, and I thought this thing sucks. I forgot about that clip. That might be a reason. Hey, I didn't make that clip though. I didn't make that clip. You know, I don't actually think so. I don't actually think it sucks, but you know, it has its own place. We're not going to talk anymore about that, but you know, it doesn't actually suck. I'm just for a fight stick. It's not a fight stick. You know what I mean? Like to market it as a fight stick, it's weird. It's a control panel from an arcade. It's an easy SKU for them to make, and then you can just like pitch it as some positive because it's an interchangeable control panel, which I don't get. Real quick, because if I'm going to buy a cabinet for like $500 and it has what it has, I'm not going to go buy the gamer for another 200 just to have a trackball and you know, that's just weird. And the two extra buttons, that's a lot of money to pay another extra $200. So I just feel like that's not a very positive thing for the consumer to have to go out and buy it. I don't know. It's just weird. Like until they have multiple interchangeable control panels, I think it's kind of dumb, and it's just a way for them to spin that it was an easy SKU for them to make as a separate product, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. I think it was lazy. But I do agree. I think it was lazy. They could have made a really cool fight stick, and they could have actually worked on getting some really good licenses to have some built-in awesome games for the people that weren't going to mod it or weren't going to, no, I shouldn't say mod it, the people that weren't going to do coin ops and all the things that, you know, edge on the gray area. I think it would have been neat for consumers to have that option. But anyways, I just don't understand the decisions they make a lot of times. So moving on. So later on in the week, it got even more interesting when Zen tweeted out this tweet about, basically they said, because everyone knows that the At Games pinball was announced, and then, you know, the Zen Studios came and they basically sent this tweet out that said, basically that's the second thread. Hold on, let me get the first one. It's kind of weird when someone sends a long tweet like this. So basically it said, to our DIY pinball community, we thank you for your continued support to help take our games to new heights through your innovative creations. So they're talking about the fact that with Zen, you can download FX3, and then there's a mode that they have called cabinet mode, where you can actually take a picture of your cabinet that you've built, and then they'll give you the cabinet code, which allows you to set up the active backglass, change the playfield from landscape to portrait, and control the DMD. You can't do that out of the box, so that's something they kind of have a little bit of control over. Although in FX2, they didn't have cabinet mode codes, only when they moved to FX3. So anyways, let's go back to that real quick. We wanted to let you know that we will continue to make our games available on a case-by-case basis for your inventions, but we'll draw the line on any non-approved commercial platforms, as they may be a breach of existing EULAs. So basically what they're trying to say is, they're basically, you know, I'll break it down really, really simple here, is they don't want people using, this was a direct call out to say, hey, look, the At Games Legends Pinball is a product that was backed or made in conjunction with or partnership with Farsight Studios. Farsight Studios is Zen Studios' #1 competitor. So for them to back that pinball machine and then them to back the Arcade 1-Up pinball machine, it makes perfect business sense, in my opinion, that they would not want people taking the cabinet codes and putting them on that cabinet, because those games, a lot of those games are going to be in some fashion on the Arcade 1-Up. It makes total sense to me. And here's the other thing that I think we'll find out more about, because Zen had sent out a tweet saying they were going to have a video that talks more about the partnership and integration. They put a lot of work and effort. I mean, a lot. This might as well be their pinball machine. So they put a lot of work and effort in this. It's not like Arcade 1-Up made this pinball machine. I mean, yes, they the overall design and everything, but most of this is really on Zen to make sure that this thing works properly. So that led me to this other thing. So there's these guys that I really like. They have this podcast called Blockade. I really like these guys. These guys are great, and they're very, very, very entrenched in pinball. They're really good guys. They know a hell of a lot more about virtual pinball than I do. I've built a couple. I've owned several. But I learn a lot from watching their show a lot of times. So they had something to say about this, and they have 2 clips. I'm going to play both clips, and we'll talk about each one, but I thought they had some really impactful stuff to talk about. So here, I'll run one or two clips because some of the stuff they say is exactly what I've been saying. I've been saying on multiple shows that I don't think the integration of the pinball software to the actual cabinet is even going to be close on the At Games as it is on Arcade 1-Up. And this is something that I truly believe in. I could be wrong though. I haven't touched either one really. I mean, I did at CES, but I'd argue that the CES version of the Arcade 1-Up pinball wasn't really it wasn't the finished product by any stretch. It was an early prototype. So both of them may suck, right? I don't know, but I just feel very confident that Zen is really in this to make a good product, and they're heavily partnered. It's not just like, hey, we're gonna have your games on here. They're heavily partnered. So here, I'm gonna load the first clip here, and then we'll talk about it for a minute.
Because this is a multicade machine, not just pinball.
I wonder where we've seen that before. That seems really familiar. Like this swappable control panel thing at the front. I'm sure I've seen that somewhere.
Might be this company. I don't know. Aardvark? No.
No.
Australia? No, they are in Australia. Oh yeah, Arcuda.
Arcuda. That's the one. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Moving on.
So these guys have been watching Virtual Pinball Space for a while, and they mentioned a company called Arcuda, because At Games has this idea that they're going to put arcade controls in the front. And I actually owned a pinball machine that was not really legit. It was a reverse engineered pinball machine, so it probably was also a copy of Arcuda. But Arcuda had this pinball machine. The unfortunate thing is they're indefinitely closed because of COVID, which really sucks. But they have this really cool pinball machine, and I think they were licensed for Pinball Arcade. So this was a Farsight Studios license that they had. So this is a really cool, I mean, you look at it, it's a very cool machine. But yeah, they had the control panel in the front. We could play, you can play, arcade games, and you could play those arcade games on the back glass. Like, this is a really bitchin' system. But unfortunately, they're no longer around, which really sucks. So they were just kind of saying, hey, look, it looks like
because
they might have
a multicade machine.
It looks like they might have borrowed, or got some inspiration from that machine. So anyways, I just thought that was interesting stuff. But yeah, so maybe they'll eventually go that direction, but it's like, it's just, yeah, there's nothing really to say there. Later on in the episode, they talk about how the front of the At Games, though, it's just because of the control panel and the way they've designed the front, it's probably not going to be as comfortable to play. But anyways, by the way, this isn't the same shirt, by the way, How to Bachelor. It's a completely different shirt than yesterday, and it is washed, so I just want to let you know that. Oh, shoot, you know what? I think I have my green screen filter on me. Oh, God. Oh, that's why my shirt looks weird. What a noob. Let me fix that really quick, and then we'll get back to the show at hand here, because there's so much more. There's still a lot to talk about. There we go. Green screen filter off. Okay. So I'm going to play one more clip from the show that I thought was interesting. I would encourage you to go subscribe to the Blockade if you're really into virtual pinball and you want to know a lot more about it. I'd actually encourage you watch the whole episode. The beginning of it's a little slow, but the guys are great, and they're a smaller channel trying to grow their channel, but they're very knowledgeable about virtual pinball. So I think it'd be great to definitely invest some time into them, because they know what they're talking about for sure. All right, I'm going to play one more.
You'll notice it's got the two sets of buttons, so I'm assuming that one of them is for nudging, although apparently this does have an accelerometer in it also.
Yes, it does.
I find it interesting that they're not promoting the accelerometer action or the fact that they say that they do have haptic feedback, whereas Arcade 1-Up is making that a huge selling feature. So I'm kind of curious to know how these two are differing.
Listen to the response here. It's important.
Respect.
I have a feeling it might be the degree of haptics, because it sounds like, I think the Arcade 1-Up cabinet has really deeply integrated haptics from what we've read and heard.
Yeah.
And I got a feeling that this might be less so, because it's really hard to integrate deeply with haptics when you don't actually have a custom bit of software written to integrate with the haptics very deeply.
Correct.
So yeah, I think it'll be there. Like, you'll feel bumps and stuff, but it won't be to the degree that you get on Arcade 1-Up.
So that's really important. I've been trying to say this forever, and I know I'm not an expert here, but I was so glad to hear them say that, because I think that's going to be accurate. I think that's going to be how it ends up going. So that was one thing. And then the other thing they talked about a lot, and I didn't pull the clip, but they talked a ton about how a lot of the Steam games are landscape. So when they say you can stream your Steam games, these guys had this big long conversation. They're like, look, we know how it works off Steam. I don't know how they're going to all magically get all these games in portrait if there is no version of a cabinet mode. There is a version of cabinet mode for Pinball Arcade. I can't remember what it's called. It's called like Anaconda or something. Or maybe it's the Arcuda. I think it's Arcuda, actually. I think they were the ones that designed this. So maybe they're borrowing the code or something. I'm not sure. I don't know it to that degree. But they were very concerned that it's not like you're just going to be able to stream everything and magically everything's going to work. Because his key word he said there was the deep integration with the haptics and the custom software. That's where I get really concerned, because when you just download or stream something, unless someone's engineering all of those pieces into it, which I can't imagine they'd go through the great lengths and engineering time it would take to do that, you're going to have various degrees of integration. Like the games on the cabinet may run really well and be very well integrated with the haptics, and then anything you're streaming, maybe not so much so or at all. So, or maybe the backglass doesn't work, or the DMD doesn't work, or it's just the playfield. Those are all compromises that no one's talking about. It's just, oh yeah, you could stream it. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's like, no, guys, it's not fucking, oh crap. It's not awesome if you don't know if that stuff's going to work. Those are details you'd want to know if you were going to buy it. Now, if you're going to full on, sorry about the swear, guys. If you're going to full on mod it, if the idea is you buy it for the shell of it, but this isn't a direct jab at games. It's like the messaging around the product is being messaged by a bunch of people. And I'm not saying I'm an expert at all by any stretch, but I feel sometimes that I've got a little bit more experience than some of the other people talking about the product, because I've built a real one before. Again, not an expert, but I've built one, so I know what goes into it. At least I can say I know what goes into it because I actually did it myself, right? There's some people that are throwing around the terms like, yeah, stream it and you can stream it and it's all good. It's like, but it's not that easy. It doesn't just stream it magically works. That's frustrating for me to sit on the sidelines and see, because I see one company really making the effort to make sure all the pieces, parts are integrated. And then I see one that's just like, yeah, it's like one is like acting like a used car salesman. Like, yeah, we got streaming pinball. Yeah, we got this. And maybe it will all work. But I don't think it's going to work to the degree that everyone's making it seem like it's so easy. I think there's going to be a lot of steps you have to do to get an experience that you like, but that doesn't make the product bad. I think if you love the Gottlieb titles and they really deeply integrate that with the hardware in the cabinet, then I think you're going to have a really good experience. And you got a really big cabinet. It's going to be more like a full-size pinball. So I think that could be really great. But I would not buy it with this notion that all this streaming stuff is going to be magic, because they're making it sound like black magic, and it's not. But if you love those Gottlieb titles, they may have a very, very solid product. And if you are going to, thanks my family for the super chat. He said, you're making great points. But if you really, like, one thing that could be really cool is let's say At Games does have a replaceable control panel. Well, if you don't have a lot of space, you could potentially play, if they do a trackball right here, how bitchin' would it be to use this main play field to play shmups and stuff? It'd be killer. And then to be able to play horizontal arcade games right here, like traditional arcade games, that'd be awesome. So
it's got the two sets of buttons.
Damn, I always do that. If you're like, if you want to be a little bit, get invested in At Games, because if you look at the ALU version 1, the version 1 that I bought, and then after all the code upgrades, it got really good. Like they made a lot of great progress. I'd argue in the beginning it was like way rocky, but if you're going to invest the time in the product and know that they're going to continue to make firmware updates, then maybe there'll be some things you really enjoy about the cabinet. So I'm not saying it's actually going to be a bad cabinet. I'm just saying this whole streaming nonsense where they're like making it sound all magical, that is such an utter bullshit. It's such bullshit. Don't buy it for the streaming. In the beginning, that's going to be, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be not good. It's going to be like a crazy bad experience. And it may get better over time because they have proven that their engineers can actually make progress on stuff. That's the thing. They have their own engineering teams. They don't farm out these efforts like Arcade 1UP does to companies like Code Mystics. They do it in-house. So anyways, yeah. Anyway, that's my rant there. So yeah, we got all that We got all that. So let's move on off that topic. So the thing that happened this week that was out of control. I got to see where I'm at for time. All right, we're 7:37, and I'm really sorry about the swear. By the way, I didn't mean to do that. So I'm sorry if you had kids listening. I'm really sorry about that. Sometimes it just slips out. It's a coffee. So anyway, so it's not hate, it's truth. I want to be truthful. I have fun with it. Okay, I like having fun with it. I like poking fun. And if I was too complimentary to one company or the other, then I'd probably be in bed with one or the other. Ralph, are you secretly Joe I don't know who that is. Joe Magdalena? No? V. Gatchman. I don't know who that is. Maybe someone sent me a picture. So, Joe Jump. All right, hold on. Joe, I'll look him up right now. Joe, hold on. It's going too fast. Joe This guy? I think Kim probably wishes that I had the abs of this guy, but yeah, let's see. This dude? Maybe. But look at his abs, dude. There's no way. There ain't none of that going on. There ain't none of that going on down here. I'll tell you that much. There's no abs. There's been abs maybe one time in my life, and I think I starved myself. I think I was like starving or something. Or I didn't have money to eat or something. I don't know. Definitely not that guy. Actually, speaking of Russ.
Virtual Pinball is here. It's at Games. We've got streaming.
Oh, did it stop? Oh, what happened?
All right, ready? Here we go. Here we go, come on. Streaming Pinball. 20 built-in games. Haptic feedback. But last but not least, side load. That's right. If you want real pinball news, you come to Retro Route Fest 2020.
All right, anyway, so I had no idea I was going to do that. So I wasn't really prepared. So whatever. It was whatever it was. Okay. I'm being really stupid today, by the way. This is awesome. So this is like the dumbest show I've ever done. Okay. Let's let's go to so yeah, all right. Switching gears. I got my Oculus Quest, and I've been telling you guys for the longest time that I've wanted to Rant Fest 2020. Grandma's Dirty Socks. That is right. It is Rant Fest 2020. That's what this show is for. It's for me to say the things that would take the One Up Weekly off the rails. Okay. You need to check his upload. I need Ralph to check his upload. Dude, my upload speed is perfect. I'm on Gigablast. How to Bachelor, it's just congestion, I think. I'm running at 4% CPU. I've got everything is like dialed hard. So I don't know what's going on. But anyway, it's not me. It's not me, it's you. But it's all I'm like dialed in. I've had this thing dialed in for a long time. I don't even touch it. Don't even touch it. All right. So anyways, moving on. So I wanted to do horror. I wanted to do horror VR for a while. Now I've done it before when I had like I wish I could find the old clip. But anyways. Oh wait, hold on. Jeff Rainwater said this isn't the dumbest show you've done. Remember when you almost electrocuted yourself with oven mitts on? Okay, it's good. Good point. Good point. Very valid point, Jeff. I agree with you. Oh, the other thing too. I don't want to shift off. I got to shift off at games, but the other thing I'm really worried about. I'm worried about this from both sides. You've got the arcade one-up pinball. It's probably going to be a good 60 to 75 pounds, and then you have the at games pinball that's over 100 pounds. Could even be upwards of 130, 150 pounds. If arcade one-up's going to be about $50. Between listening to you and Rexer, I think I'm going to wait and see how pinball pans out rather than jumping in head first. Antisocial Hero, that's not necessarily a bad idea. Just know that in the beginning, I think the limited quantities are going to be on both sides. I think you're going to have limited arcade one-up pinball quantities, and you're going to have limited at game. I think you're going to have extremely severe limited on the at game side, though. I think you're going to see really small amounts of units. Hasso says 100. It's 150 pounds. I don't know how you ship something 100. Arcade one-up's looking at like $50 shipping, I think. I don't know how you're shipping something for 150 or that's 150 pounds for less than $100. I don't know how you do that, especially at limited quantities. Yeah, you know what? Antisocial Hero, you bring up a good point. Sometimes waiting is the best option. Really. Sometimes waiting is the best option. But I do think that it is going to be hard to get them. So if you wait, you probably won't get it till sometime in 2021 on either side. I would guess, if I had to guess quantities, I'm going to guess Arcade 1-Up makes about 5,000 of them. That's what I think they're going to make. About 5,000. I think you're going to see AtGames make like 1,000 or less. I don't think you're going to see more than that. I think they're going to do super limited runs. I don't think they have the capacity to do as many as Arcade 1-Up with Arcade 1-Ups the way they've been pumping those things out lately. I think they've got that streamlined to a T now. And if you think about it, they've kind of got a little bit more maturity on them as far as stuff like that. So anyways, maybe we can look, some people can look at Manifest to find out exact numbers, but I'm going to think it's going to be under 1,000 for, Console Kit says 1,000 sounds too much. I'm going to think it's going to be under 1,000 for AtGames and at least up to 5,000 for Arcade 1-Up. That's what I think you're going to have out there. So we'll see if they sell out. Wow. Console Kit says 300. That seems really low, but maybe these things are going to cost a lot to make. I'm shocked at, I'm actually shocked at how the pricing's working with these things. I would never have thought that you could offer what they're offering for the price. But anyways, let's move on. So I wanted to do Oculus Horror. Something went really rad on my live stream, and Stringer Films yet again comes through, makes this really funny video. So I wanted to play it really quick, and then we'll talk a little bit. Excuse me. We talked about Oculus Quest on the 1-Up Weekly, so definitely go back and watch that. We had a very casual show. All right, Hobby Hands. My friend sells 200-pound speakers, and he sells enough that it costs about $100. $100 shipping, I think he's saying. Oh, well, thanks, Hobby Hands, for the super chat. Are you saying he paid $100? It's $100 shipping? According to Bill at AtGames, the pinball isn't in production yet. Well, how the hell does that work? How are you going to get that this year then? Wow, Hobby Hands, that's a lot. See, I'm saying, like, there's no way I'm thinking it's gotta be like, to do it for 50 seems crazy. I don't think they'd do it that cheap, but that's a concern for both. Shipping for both is a concern. And I'm also curious, are they going to ship the whole body? So one thing, Toy Shock, I will give this to I will hand it to Toy Shock. They shipped their unit really good. It was shipped, the whole body of the machine was actually packed in nice. So all you really did was you took the playfield body out. Your legs were nicely distributed on the top. You took the legs off, you took the body out, you took your back glass out, and it was really easy to assemble. I don't know how you would, I don't know. I don't know how Arcade 1-Up's going to do it either. I hope the body is assembled, because I feel like having to put all the things inside the body could be really difficult. So I really hope that on both sides, the body is shipped as one unit. Yeah, so he's saying they had to, thank you, Hobby Hands, for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate it. He said, yes for shipping, but really had to haggle with FedEx. I know. I'm telling you, man, the shipping is going to be an issue on both sides, I think. So It's Vaughn said, is Toy Shock done or announcing Gen 2? So they did, but they did it again. Another weird thing. Toy Shock announced their Generation 2 through YouTube, not themselves, sort of. I don't think there was an official press release on it. So I don't know. Like, now they're kind of like not talking about it. So I don't know what's going on. But it's weird. Toy Shock came out of nowhere with their pinball device that had some issues, although it did sell pretty well. Ralph, what are your feelings on forced Facebook account for Oculus? Ooh, I know. Hey, Wicked Gamer, how's it going, buddy? Antisocial Hero, that's a really great question. He said, what are your feelings on forced face? Jesus, what is up with my phone? Hold on. What is up? Okay, I'm getting like totally blown up on my phone. All right, it's Kim. It's just, she's saying, is it 7 o'clock yet? All right. And some parcel for me just left Hong Kong. And it's to be at my house on Wednesday. I don't know what the hell I ordered that's from Hong Kong, but DHL sending something from Hong Kong that's going to be our Wednesday. I have no idea. It's probably some piece of crap thing that I bought that is junk, and I probably won't even. Anyway, all right. We're getting off track, but I forgot the question. It was something about Toy Shock. Will it ever come out? And then there was one about, crap, what was the Antisocial Hero's question? It was really good. I have such ADD, I forget. Crap. What was this question? It was a good question. Copy and paste it back in if you don't mind. If you can. By the way, it does look like I am having some YouTube issues with that aren't on my end, but I keep seeing some issues pop up, unfortunately, on the YouTube side, because I'm still like 100% doing well here. Yeah, the forced Facebook account. I don't know. I do feel like, oh, it's weird. I hope you guys are still there. The reporting analytics is saying that the stream dropped, but I don't know. I don't know why we keep having issues there. It's weird. Hopefully you guys didn't lose me. Yeah, I don't know. The forced Facebook account is kind of weird. So I'm not sure, man. I don't know. I don't love that, to be honest, but I wish they wouldn't do that. I mean, I guess I just wish it wouldn't be the case. I wish you didn't have to have one. I also wish they didn't force you to so How to Bachelor, I have 2 drops on the total stream that happened, and I don't know why, because I'm good. Like, I'm telling you, I'm good. But it might be I think it's definitely not on my end, though. I can tell you, I have thoroughly tested the crap out of it. So, anyways, let's go to the Oculus thing. So let's go to the Oculus thing really quick.
Been waiting for it, and it's finally here.
Why, that's me! What on earth is this thing I'm wearing?
Come on, Chromecast.
Now, there's been rumor going around that that's more of a dongle.
Okay, I'm gonna try just resetting the Chromecast really quick.
Power supply for powering the unit, and a 1.21
gigawatts!
Oh, the Chromecast is back. That's not scary at all, really. What's this for? Oh, shut up, dude. Shut up! Where'd she go? Oh, crap, where'd she go? No! Oh my gosh, no. Guys, I can't do this kind of stuff. I can't do this. That's it. The stream is over. I can't do this. If she does the pop-up in my face, I can't do this. I'm picking up the baby. What could the baby possibly do? It's a non-creepy little baby.
That's like a baby's toy.
Come on, Chromecast. Come on, baby. I swear to you guys, I'm so done. Oh, shit! No! Oh, no! No freaking way, dude! No way! Oh, shit! No! I apologize for the minor inconvenience that this may have caused you to your evening. So that was it. Thank you, Stringer. That was pretty awesome that you put that together. So that was really funny. There's also a couple people out on Twitter. There was someone on Twitter that did something really funny with it too. They actually they made it like some guy, and I don't know, maybe you guys know this clip, but it was like the guy fell through the wall. It was really funny. I could try to find it really quick, but I don't know. I might not be able to find it in time. But it was pretty good. He basically made it that when I fall, this like dude falls through the wall, and then when he gets up, it's me again. It was actually edited also really well. But it's just funny. I knew people would have fun with that. It was crazy. It hurt my back, believe it or not. My back was actually kind of bothering me for the last couple days because of it. But it's all right. It's all right. So anyways, I know this was a not fun, but I know this was a different kind of an episode. I really just wanted to talk about everything that was going on. All right, I am buying alternate VR because of the Facebook thing, Hobby Hen said. That sucks, man. But maybe maybe they'll change that requirement. But it seems like they were pretty specific on that. I think that's sometimes where competition kicks in, and it's owned by Facebook. So, it's like the same thing as the Zen thing, right? They really want to make sure that the Arcade 1-Up pinball is successful. And the fact that, the other company, the competing company, has been very nonchalant about the streaming thing, I think it pissed them off, right? And what would it be like if Arcade 1-Up, if on the other side, this was a point Justin made to me last night. He said, what would happen if Arcade 1-Up did that? Would AtGames just be like, it's cool? Like, probably not, because Farsight wouldn't want their games. And maybe it wouldn't be AtGames, it'd be Farsight that would be pissed off. Farsight wouldn't want to go, hey, we have a contract with AtGames, and you're going to let Farsight Studios games on Arcade 1-Up. I know they would have a problem with that. So it goes both ways, right? I actually don't have a problem with what they did. I think that if from a competitive business perspective,
it makes a whole lot of sense. But I think the part that everyone doesn't realize is the amount of time, effort, engineering, dollars, and stuff like that Zen has put into it. But I think Zen is about to correct that. Not correct that. I think they're going to do a video showing the work that went into it. I think they documented the process, so that'd be kind of cool. All right, so let's do some final thoughts, and we'll wrap this show up. I really appreciate everyone joining. I appreciate all the super chats, all the support, all the great comments. I didn't get to Offhands. Oh, all right. Okay, that's an old super chat. All right. I didn't get to really talk as much with you guys during this episode because I had so much to talk about. But yeah, definitely hit that like button and definitely show me some love there. And I want to say thank you to the moderators I have in here. So we've got Lewis Chambers. He's a moderator. He's also the one of the moderators and admins of the Arcade 1UP fan page on Facebook. Sorry. And How to Bachelor. Go subscribe to How to Bachelor. He's a great guy. Has a really fun YouTube channel. He's pretty funny dude too. He says some pretty funny things. Really nice guy. Ex-military, so appreciate his service. And then hold on, we got a super chat here from My Family. It says, can you please somehow collect everyone's quest names so we can friend each other? I will work on that. I'll work on that for sure. And then definitely go subscribe to the Blockade podcast. I'll put a link in the description after the show is over. I'll throw it in there because those guys are really great. If you like pinball, if you're not into virtual pinball and this isn't something you're into, then definitely you'd find it probably boring. But if you like virtual pinball, you'd find they're very informative guys, good guys, and they're really knowledgeable about virtual pinball and mechanical pinball. So it's pretty cool. And they're pretty deep in bed with, not deep in bed, I shouldn't say that. They have good relationships with the publishers. Sometimes they'll go on their shows and stuff like that. All right. Oh, and Justin, by the way, Justin is a mod too. He just comes in and stirs the pot though. He doesn't really moderate, but we'll give him some props too. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Justin's working overtime all the time, in my opinion. But all right. Final thoughts time. So, what do I think about all this stuff going on? I think we're going to have big decisions to make. It might make sense to wait, but if you're so eager to get in there and, you're split down the line, it's going to be tough to decide. I think one is going to be a very out of the box, open it up and play it experience, and one is going to be, probably the same, but if you want to do some of the ancillary stuff, it's going to be a little bit of work on your part. So if your idea is just to open it up and play pinball, then I think it's going to be more about which games appeal to you more. And then the second thing is going to be space and weight, right? Because the At Games one is considerably bigger, larger, takes up more space. It's going to be way more weight. You're not going to be able to move it around as easy. So you're going to have to think about those two things. So yeah, and then you got, I'm not even talking about Well Played Toys and Toy Shock. I don't know. I might buy the Well Played Toys one just to make sure no one else does. So I'm going to buy the Well Played Toys one and see how it is. Maybe I'll be surprised, but it's not going to have the haptic feedback and the accelerometers and all that stuff. That's going to make a huge difference in making it a compelling experience for you. And I think that's going to be the most important part. You're going to want that. It's going to make it great. All right. So, and both the other two companies have that. So, I don't know. That space might get. I have a feeling Arcade 1UP and At Games, if they can get the quantities up, it's going to squash the other two players pretty quick. Plus, all the Toy Shock games are actually on the At Games, so all 12 of those titles are already on the At Games. So it's almost like At Games decided to Toy Shark. Toy Shark. You just got At Games. All right, guys. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. Put your comments below. I want to hear from you. I always want to hear from you. And turn on notifications so you can be informed of other videos like this one. That's it for now, guys. I appreciate all the support, and we will see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.